We're the Logans, everybody!
Hi, we're the Logans.
I'm Honor.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Luna Blue.
And welcome to our weekly podcast where we talk everything about everything.
This is the Logans World. Hello.
Yeah, so for anyone who's a new listener, we're actually three sisters and we're in a band. But even though we're sisters, I think we've got very different personalities.
Very different.
Very
different personalities, different styles. I mean, Taylor, tell everyone what you were wearing today.
Oh, which outfit?
Tell them all.
There was a number of outfits. I'm gonna tell you my favourite outfit right now is I have a bottle green leather suit, and I also have, I like to wear a white shirt under it, and it's got fringes on the pockets.
So a leather suit, and how warm was it today?
It was the perfect temperature to wear a leather suit.
Just a nice.
the perfect temperature to stay indoors and wear your leather suit.
Yes.
No, honestly, I was having a conversation. I was having a tantrum to my mum, where I was saying, Mum, what's the point in having all of these fashion moments if no one can see them?
Well, that's
goodness.
why you have Instagram, I suppose. What about you, honey?
What's my fashion style? I like chic. I would say that's my thing. Chic.
Yeah.
A bit of posh.
Yeah.
Bit posh
Gucci.
spice. That's it. Cat eye sunglasses. LBD. That's it.
So, like, I would like to say that I have like a sporty fashion sense, but sport isn't my fashion sense. I wear sporty clothes most of the time because they're comfy and I'm kicking about and going to the gym. And people always go, oh yeah, that would really suit you, that lovely sporty dress. But it's not my fashion sense, if that makes sense. I wear it out of convenience because I go to the gym, but it's not my thing.
I think that if I was to sum up your fashion sense in one word,
I know you're going to say
it'd
something
probably
cheeky.
be boring.
Do you know, Taylor's so offensive.
Uh-huh.
And do you know what? I feel like that was so uncalled for, Taylor. Do you know what? And do you know what? Taylor is just, she's out there with her fashion. So I feel like insulting Leona's taste is boring is just because you're on way the opposite end of the spectrum with that one.
Yeah, I think Taylor, you're just trying to, you know...
I'm trying to normalise.
You normalise what you do.
That's exactly what it is.
Boring.
Mine is so boring it makes yours normal, you know?
Yeah.
I think that every single day is an opportunity to express yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. And if it doesn't have fringes, then what's the point?
I like sort of, I'm hit or miss. Some days I like nice minimalist clothes where it's cotton or linen, just something plain. But then other days I'm like, no, I want to dress up today. But then I don't like dressing too old, but I also don't like dressing too young. I sort of just, I don't think I have my thing yet.
Yeah.
Definitely
I
not.
did always like to dress up.
Same, see? That's the thing.
I like the posh look. But do you know what? I feel like actually, so we were saying we're in a band, we are in a band, and we've had some fashion fails.
Oh my.
And do you know what though? I'm willing to say that was not our fault. Because
those fashion fails.
Right, okay, so we've had some of our own, we'll give you that. But actually, so we're now, you know, strong, independent young women doing it on our own. But in the past, we've worked with people who sort of were quite controlling in what they wanted us to wear, speak, sing, all of these things. And I completely lost my own sense of fashion, and that was honestly one of the most horrible things for me. Some of the outfits, it was this, you have to dress like, you know, country if you're going to be country, and it's just not our thing. You know, we're not American, we're not that kind of country. So we're, you know, these hats and tassels and now I do love a nice cowboy boot, I'll give you that, but
I do like
not
tassels.
head to toe, it's just not the right thing. And when I look back at some, I was so lost, I just looked absolutely terrible.
Well, I think the thing is that even the way musicians are sort of costumed to be country in the UK, it's not the way country. I'd say it's more like a festival look.
Yeah.
So, and you can't dress like you're going to a
It's like
festival
pretending
every day.
your country.
Yeah, I think you know, like you were saying you love a tassel. I love fringes, but I'll wear whatever I want. I don't go and I'm like, oh, today I'm gonna dress like I'm going to Coachella.
Yeah.
So do you feel you dress differently on stage than you do normally? Like, what would you wear on stage compared to what you would normally wear?
I think this sounds really bad, but it changes. I sometimes see a film with a style in it, a certain like character will dress a certain way, and I'm like, oh, I love that.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. sometimes it's based on like spaghetti westerns, and I'm like, oh, Joe Exotic.
Joe
huge
Exotic.
style
I was
icon.
waiting on that.
To be fair, I'm gonna say I had a lot of stuff. I had all my stuff, okay, before. It just happens that Joe Exotic.
You don't
and
have the
I dress
piercings
as
yet.
him.
I need to say one thing. You've kind of let us down. Like the last two of these podcasts, you've been very minimalist, Taylor. This is very unlike Taylor.
Well, it's funny. I didn't know what, if that makes sense. So it's actually really, really warm as well. So I probably shouldn't
Okay, I'll give you that.
admit this. I'm sunburnt as well. So I'm also.
Bad girl.
I'm like if I had my choice, I would probably be wearing, you know, a nice, really thick leather jacket, fringes.
Yeah.
I would be wearing a cowboy hat if I could get away with it.
I actually, you're talking about between stage and being just, do you dress the same? I find that really difficult because this is what I'm talking about. The kind of things I like to wear are not the kind of things you can wear on stage because we're quite dynamic as a band. So it's not the right thing if I was to go on stage in a dress and heels. I mean, I could, but we like to sort of jump about and have fun, and I don't want to be, you know, stifled really because I'm wearing a wee dress and high heels and struggling to get along. So generally I'll wear like a pair of sort of leather trousers and boots
really
or something.
important,
And it's weird because I never quite feel like I'm hitting any fashion marks when I'm on
Yeah.
stage, but I've kind of just gone with that for now. But yeah, it's probably not quite my thing.
Something I find difficult as well, and I'm sure lots of female and males have the same thing when you're on stage. So there's different lights, there's lighting, sort of up lighting, down lighting, whatever, and people are taking photos and filming.
Oh,
And there's some angles where you're wearing certain clothes and you don't look how you really look, and it just doesn't fit right. So it's a really difficult thing getting something that flatters your figure and knowing what it looks like in real life, and then standing on stage and it's actually
Absolutely.
something completely different.
I think that we've learned you have to let that go because we've had such terrible, you know, you go and you're like, "Ah, I look so good tonight," and then someone puts a picture up and you're like, oh, who is that? Because that is not me. But actually it was hard because you have to get used to it and you have to know you're not in control of what's going to go out there and how you're going to look. And if it is an uplighting or something and it catches, you know, your stomach or whatever, you can look like a completely different person. And it's sometimes horrible to see when you look back and you go, that doesn't even look like me. But actually you have to relinquish control a bit of that and own it as well. I think especially, you know, if you're, well, it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl, whoever you are, the one thing I would say is you have to just come to just accept that you're not always going to look the way you think that you look. And it's okay because we had to do that because it was a really not nice thing at the start, wasn't it, to feel that way? But once you get over it, that's it. You're over it.
I think on top of that, which is really difficult as well, is being on stage and wanting to give a good performance where you're in the zone and you're singing well and you're playing well, and you don't have to think about how you look. And it is a difficult thing because it sort of comes with the, okay, you're in a band, okay, how do you look, how do you dress, what's your image? But sometimes you just want to be on stage in the moment and just do your thing.
Definitely.
And it's hard to, you know, get all of that right at the same time.
I think that's something that the three of us have been sort of kicking back against a bit, that you can go on and, you know what, if that day we've been busy and, you know, there was one time I got off a flight and had to be on the stage, remember, in like an hour because my flight was delayed and things. I was meant to get back the night before. No, that's not actually true.
That's a story for another time, guys.
I left the what do you call it, the boarding passes in the hotel and keys. And keys. So that was why I was late.
And then they got to the airport and they were like, oh my god, we left Kevin.
No, but really, but that was actually like, you know, and sometimes you're running off a flight quite literally and getting on a stage, so that is, and it's fine. These are things that you just do, but definitely something we've had to kick back against as three women, because we've had lots of people along the way telling us, you know, you have to do this, and especially it's like a thing if you're a woman, it's you are supposed to not have an opinion or have any understanding of yourself or how you want to be portrayed or your brand, and it's always this twee sort of young girl yeehaw,
Yeah.
and it's that's not who we are. It's cool if you are yeehaw, but you know, we're Scottish, so
Yeah.
the yeehaw thing doesn't quite
Yeehaw.
cut it. Yeehaw.
Yeah, we want
Yeehaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this song, say yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Right, so speaking of music, what kind of music influences your writing or the
Us
way,
as a-
like, well,
do you
and
think?
I feel like individually, what music do you listen to that do you think you write depending on what you've listened to, or do you think they're completely different things?
For me, writing it's like a state of mind. It's
Yeah.
like something it comes from a deeper place than having any choice over it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like, I remember the most inspired song I wrote years and years ago, and it took me so long to write, came from the colours. Came from it was actually a trailer for something completely different, but it was the mood of the trailer that
Yeah.
I was like, it just caught something, and I was like, okay, I have to write this song.
Yeah.
And it was, probably was about 5 years ago that it's one of my most favourite songs that I've written. But for me, it was like, okay, that just feels like something, and you just get this feeling, you're like, oh.
That it's
Yeah.
definitely. I would say for me though, it's the subtle things that people do or say. Sometimes it's one line that someone says, and I'm like, okay, that's a song.
That feels like
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
For me, it's like taking a situation that you've seen somewhere or just common things that people go through and, finding something that people can connect with
yeah,
and go listen to that and go, oh my goodness,
that's
that's
the
me, and I feel
most
that, I feel
important
that
thing.
word, I feel that line,
Yeah.
How many songs do you listen to that is just a line that's like, oh my goodness?
Yeah, and you just gotta know what that means.
There's
Yeah.
a song, Berlin by RYX, and the lyrics don't actually make much sense, but when he puts them all together, they're absolutely gorgeous. And it's one of my favourite songs to listen to.
Yeah.
Exactly, just like it means nothing, but it connects to everything you're feeling in that moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But I think we've had quite an evolution with our music as well.
And we still are.
Yeah, same thing again for going back and not having any control over things. So now I think we're at a really fun place where everything is everything we can just do what we want, and
Yeah.
it's really exciting. And it's not about not working with people, we love that, but it's also about having the final say that you need as an artist. It's so important not to give everything up, and it's about respect as well. You need to work with people who respect you. So I think that's quite exciting. We're getting into a more Scottishy country thing, and I love it.
Definitely excited about our sound and our songs and things that we've never played to anyone, that we've written that no one's heard yet. I think for me it's really nice to look at a body of work and go, oh my god, I love every single piece that's there. That's for me is exciting. I don't think we've ever as a group, with anything we've released, really gone through it and be like, I love this, I love that, I love that.
Yeah.
It's cool to be in a
Yeah.
position where you get to choose that. So
Yeah.
many artists that are signed to big giant labels that are like, I cannot wait to
Okay,
leave and
yeah.
start making stuff that I want to make, and we've got the
Yeah.
opportunity right here.
Yeah. Well, that was Tory Lanez was talking about that. He just got off, I think it was a long contract, I can't remember, and he was saying, I'm so excited now to finally go back to what music I always wanted to
Yeah.
make. So he wrote all his own music. He used to record himself, produce, and then obviously got signed because he got big, and then they had to make it sort of mainstream, which makes sense. I think that's the same with Stormzy as well. He became very sort of mainstream and had to go away from his roots of what he wanted to do, but it makes sense to fit into a sort of bigger place.
I mean, it does, but you have to recognise what you're maybe going to sacrifice to do that, because for us, we were very unhappy for quite a while, and for us it wasn't worth it. It was so good to get out of that.
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing though, you're talking about sort of like Tory Lanez and who they're commercially successful. For us, I think we got a lot of material that we just thought was not going to be something special.
Yeah.
I wonder how many artists, how frustrating that must be to
Yeah.
get something and be saying like, I don't want this to represent me, I don't want this put out
it's
there.
not your thing. Yeah.
That must be like so like, oh my god, please.
And it is, again, there's always a bit of give and take, and that's all part of progress and growth for yourself, because you have to listen to other people to grow, because otherwise you'll just be stuck with the same ideas. But again, it's just the boundaries of working with people that respect you and knowing when to say, actually, this is no longer my vision. This is now your vision, and it's not something that I recognise or something that I feel like I can see myself in. But I think like it's a really interesting time just now because, well, with coronavirus and lockdown, we are essentially sitting here not knowing when the next gig will be.
Yeah.
That's different.
So
that's
what
different.
is the future of music? This is a really odd one because our poor mum and dad, the future of music is the Logan household. I will tell you that.
It's
And
our living room, baby.
This is reverting back to when we were children and we used to put on shows for our mum and dad.
Wait. We need
Are you going to tell?
We need to tell
Jack and the Beanstalk?
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh, God.
First of all, I was walking down the stairs about a week ago and I had this flash where I remember what my costume was. We did Jack and the Beanstalk as a family, as like a show, like let's show our parents. I was the cow.
Yeah.
How did I get cast as a cow?
what
And how was I okay with that?
My question, what do you remember your costume being? Because I remember...
Okay, I'm sure this is what I remember. It was, do you remember... They were called, what was it? Gilets fur body warmers.
Yes.
And my grand's old fur hat.
Yeah.
So I was a cow and I had to crawl about with a furry bodysuit and a fur hat.
But I'm sure we also put towels over the back of you.
It's like a bedsheet.
A bedsheet or towels if like that was your... Yeah.
How did I get stuck with it?
I feel like, do you know, I did this to Taylor a lot, I have to admit. Like, do any of you have brothers or sisters? And admit, if you're the oldest, I can bet you any money you got first bid on like the characters you were playing. Or I always, if we were playing with dolls, I was the cool kid at school. Taylor was the one who like I befriended and was like, come be cool.
Then when me and Leona played together, I was the cool. But by this point, your friend who you played with, Amy, had all the coolest toys.
Oh, that was so good.
So by the time she didn't want them, she gave them. It was like my turn to like play with. It was Bratz dolls at the time. She had like the aeroplane, she had the car. So I was like, I'm the popular girl, and this is my car, and this is my jet, and I gave Leona the Barbie with its hair all cut off. And
of course,
I was like you, but I'd learned and I'd like grown, so I was like,
you're
you have
the
no
evil
clothes,
version.
you have no hair.
And I would like to say with my younger brothers and sisters,
You didn't even play with them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
She
trying
broke
to
the chain, okay?
I
She
was
broke
gonna
the
say
cycle.
I would do such a thing, but yeah, I just didn't play with
But
them.
I need to know, like, what did you all do to your brothers and sisters? Were you mean? Were you good brothers and sisters? Like, let us know in the comments, because I'm sure you've got some good stories and I would like to hear them.
I think we
I
were very
remember-
good brothers and sisters.
We were, but you know,
Sometimes.
I remember that we did a play. It was just me and you did a play where I'm pretty sure I was a prince, not a princess. You chose me to be a prince, and you were like this really like characteristic orphan. You were really like you had written a song and yet you wore a beret with like dots on it, and you were like, yeah, I've escaped and I'm like really streetwise and I sing this song and
Wait,
you're the prince.
is this the song that I think it is?
Sing it with me, Susan.
Don't run away,
don't
run away.
Any day, you'll see when your feet don't touch the ground.
You're making me go round and round and
round.
No, now I do need to say I must have been about 8, so
We were tiny.
so I was not this age, and that is not an example of our singing, and that was not an example of our songwriting.
That is an excerpt from a musical that Honor wrote called The Prince and the Cool Orphan.
The Prince and the Cool Orphan, and you can find it on Broadway in 2025.
Oh.
Yes, so
Okay.
Better get a move on with that one.
definitely it's only
Better
got,
write
it's
another
only
verse to
got
that
one song, and it lasts for 3 minutes.
And I'm pretty sure the lines are you going like, oh, I'm so cool. I just escaped from the orphanage, and I wasn't to say anything. I just did going.
Oh.
You're going, yes, you are so cool, and you did just escape
Say
from
the
the
line
orphanage.
right.
You didn't finish the Jack and the Beanstalk story.
Right, just
Oh,
very,
yes,
very,
sorry, back
It's
on
just too
topic.
quick to
very,
get
very
on this
quickly.
song.
This was another like Logan special. I was playing a cow, and at the time, Gold Digger, Kanye West was out, but we didn't know the song like properly enough.
You know, when you just
So-
pick up a line.
So we knew one line, and it was "I ain't saying she a gold digger." That was it. So the song went. They all rapped while I was like the cow that was like on my hands and knees, and they were and Jack had gone to sell this cow, and he sang, I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing with my cow.
So still no idea what that was supposed to mean. And we also
It
charged
means no one steals your cow.
we charged everyone in the house 20 pence to come and see this.
Only 20 pence.
Bargain.
Oh,
But we were quite
That was such a
inventive.
great
We
show.
also had a tent in the house that we set up and used as our changing area. Like that was the backstage. But yeah, quite creative. But back on topic, I'm
Yeah, what
talking
were we
about
even
the
talking
future
about?
of music here and lockdown.
How
So,
did we get from there to
I
there?
don't know. But anyway, so yeah, we're saying what is the future of music? Because I was saying we're driving our parents mad because it's still full on here. Music's still happening, songs are still being written, practiced, you name it. But there's this kind of thing of when are we going to be back on the stage? When are we going to get to perform them for you? Is this even going to happen for a long time?
I think we're looking
And
well over
I have
a
a
year.
question. Does anyone watching this have any suggestions?
Yeah.
Because of things that, I know there's been a lot of live videos and things, but I personally think that lives don't capture, 1%
No.
of going to see someone. What do you all think is going to be the future? Yes, sorry, continue. I did cut you off there.
No,
darling
that's
sister.
absolutely right. Because we've actually, you can hear, we've got a video of a live gig we put together for the
yeah.
fans, so you can check that out. That is on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Not YouTube, is it? No,
Not yet.
no,
Not
not
yet.
on YouTube yet. We can put it on YouTube though, but you can check that out if you want just a sort of live gig brought to your home. But definitely it's not the same. It's not the same not having an audience. It's not the same not having your band there. I mean, I think we all miss our band.
Yeah, really do.
We miss our drummer Paul and
Yeah.
our guitarist Ian. Luckily, our other guitarist is our brother, so
Yep, so-
he's here.
Still got him.
He's still poor him having to play. for
Still
us.
miss him very, very much when we don't see him for 10 minutes when we go to the toilet.
But yeah, I'm missing that part big time. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what could be done because I heard, now this is second-hand, third-hand information, so don't quote me on this, but it was somewhere in Europe they had organised drive-in concerts. Basically, you drove in your car, so it was set up,
Yeah.
you drove in your car, but think of how much room a car takes. So by the time they got a couple of levels back, you can't see anyone. But they were
Yeah.
saying, we've got boards set up so you can still see, but you can't see the artist, and you can tune your radio into here. Again, it's just...
It's a nice idea because for something, but it's still not gonna cut. It's not gonna be the same experience.
Yeah.
Even just people want to dance, people want to have fun. Yeah, it's odd. And did any of you have any gigs coming up that you were excited for that were cancelled? Because I know so many people were so
Festival season,
disappointed.
isn't it? So
Festival season and lots
Yeah.
of just good gigs coming up that have been just and we don't know when they're going to start again. So it's definitely an odd time. But yeah, let us know what you think and what you think will be the future. Will it go back to normal? I think, of course, it will at some point, but I think that won't be for a while.
I think it's time for us to get creative, get inventive.
Definitely.
what we can put
inventive.
together,
I think we should start sellotaping pots and pans with clocks on them and hold them up to lightning and see what we can make.
I think we've got a really good chance here to actually go and see what we can do.
Yeah,
Really.
definitely. So you might find that we come up with something cool. You might find that
Time machine
you're
or
still
something.
listening to us singing from our bedrooms.
Yep.
So
a time machine, Taylor.
a time machine. Oh my
She
I'm
just
gonna
loves the
say,
fact I
if you-
said inventive.
If you sellotape a clock to a pot and pan and something's bound to happen, it might as well be a time machine.
Oh my goodness.
Just
Never
saying.
mind her. She's off on one. Anyway, talking about being creative, how have you been with cooking? How's everybody at home been with cooking and eating during lockdown? Because this is something I
Well,
keep thinking about because
Yeah.
it's really strange. Every time, you just want to do some normal and it's like, oh,
Well, I would say that our quality of food has gone up by 1,000%.
definitely.
Definitely. And what I mean by that is that because everybody takes a day to make dinner, something is planned out, something is okay, I'm going to, and you have time to cook.
Yeah.
For me, when I used to make dinner for everyone, it would probably be the same 3 or 4 pastas.
Yeah.
The same, what can I shove together? What have I got time to make sort of thing. Everybody's hungry, but now it's oh, it is 2:00. I shall prepare dinner for the next 5 hours.
It's funny for you saying that your quality of food's gone up. Mine has definitely gone down.
Oh, because you're a
See,
snob.
actually,
No,
Leona is
things
very.
Things like I don't normally eat pasta. I don't normally eat bread. Not that it's bad or anything. I just don't.
It just doesn't quite suit her palate, darling. She looks at a slice of Warburtons and her head doubles in size.
Exactly. Who knew exactly what I mean? No, but I pretty much live off of fruit and veg, to be honest. I don't know how good that is, but
Leona's a really annoying eater. I'm just saying it now. She really is.
I was gonna say I never used to be, but I think I have been.
So
I don't think you're that
I'm
annoying.
just going to say I've been making a lot of the meals for the family, and anytime I do, if Leona's in the room, I want to kill her. She'll sit and she'll go, "Oh, why are you putting so much garlic in that? Oh my god, no, less of the salt."
Okay, you're referring to the garlic. And what did you say after you made it?
That was
What
something
did you say
else.
after you made it? No. What did you say, honey? What did you say?
I said, "This is amazing."
No, you said there's too much garlic in this.
Right, okay, but can there ever be too much garlic in something?
Yes.
Taylor
Definitely.
Taylor.
I don't.
overloads everything.
I'm
with
sorry,
garlic.
I don't have
I'm
like
not a
I don't
fan.
have a I don't think garlic can ever be wrong.
I hate garlic. Well, I
I-
don't hate it. I just
It smells
it's
so good. It
overpowering.
tastes so good.
I like very bland. Like I'm weird as in like I like the taste of spinach on its own, and I like the taste of things on their own. I hate when you spice things up and
With
add
garlic
salt and I don't like it.
I
I like
don't-
chili,
Nah,
but
I like spicing things up.
don't
But I
know,
have to
I'm
say,
so
I think that in general, I eat quite fresh.
Yeah.
Because so I'm vegetarian, so I kind of have to eat fresh in some ways. If you know what I mean.
like,
I don't
you could run
really.
off with chips, but
Well, you could, but I'm not a big chip person anyway. Also, I've recently been trying to be gluten free. That's a whole long story for
It's
another day.
hard.
I would prefer not to be, but I'm going for it at the minute. And so things have been quite difficult where, like in the house, trying to make double everything, even if it's pasta, I need to have a bit of like gluten free while everybody else is having normal, and you're making double the things. So it's been quite odd, but I've been quite enjoying it. Our younger sister Trudy is such a good baker. So this has been her time to experiment and just unleash all the cakes on us.
yeah.
I'm here for it. And she's also been good at making gluten-free ones as well. So I've been definitely here for it. I was like, just try them out. I'll taste them. I'll eat them all.
She does put this on our YouTube channel, which
Yes.
is Trudy Scrumptious, so you can pop on there and have a look at all the amazing cakes
And
that she bakes.
the
They're
rock
so
cakes
good.
have
Yes,
to
her
you
speciality.
have to check out the rock cakes. Literally,
So
it's
good.
she can wake everybody up in the house as soon as she like preheats the oven. Everyone's like, oh my god, like, and she makes enough for everybody so that you know that if you want 2 or 3, like you have to get up.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you have to eat 2 or 3. You can't just eat one.
No way.
So good.
And if I'm up earlier, I will put some away. And I don't even care if all of you don't get one. I'm taking 5 and I'm putting them away for later.
I must say, for the
Wow.
last few that have been baked, I don't think I've had any.
That's because she's just admitted she takes 12 of them.
Is that right?
Hides it, stuffs
Is
them
that
down her bra.
right?
Definitely. I actually do hide them in my bag, but now you know
No, I
that.
said your
Down
bra.
Oh, bra.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one. So I'll be using that one next.
All the girls in our house are going to be like, something's changed about you girls. And we'll be like, it's the
Nothing.
power of rock cakes,
they're-
honey.
They
How
look
does
a bit, I was going to say, they look a bit square. Anyway, I think we've chatted enough.
Yeah, enough
Um,
nonsense.
Thank you all for joining us. And
Thank you for putting up with us.
definitely, and let us know again, what have you been cooking? Please give me, if you've got any good recipes, pass them on to me, because I need to eat something else. I keep making the same things. So if you've got some good recipes, preferably vegetarian, gluten-free. If not, Taylor and Leona, I'd love to see them anyway. But thank you very much. We've had so much fun again. This is the Logans world. We are the Logans.
And you can find us on all social media platforms at The Logans World on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Thank you. We love you very much.
And
Bye.
one
sorry.
last thing. Sorry about that. I was just going to say, let us know what you want to hear us chatting about.
And we'll be back same time next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It's the Logan Show.